Hi, my name's Kath, and today's Daily Pattern is all about Acts chapter 16, verses 11 to 40. One of my favourite 12-year-olds used to be one of my favourite 3-year-olds, and I distinctly remember her persuading her mum to give her something that she wanted at that point, and she used all the verbal tactics that she had, and in the end she was out of energy, and she just shouted at the top of her voice, "But I need it." This want had turned into a deeply felt need. I think as adults we maybe didn't at that moment recognise her deeply felt need, but she was expressing it nonetheless. And in this passage we see 3 people, very different people in very different life situations, who have a need for Jesus, and for whom Jesus responds to them, meets them in their place of need. We first see Lydia, who's a Gentile. She is a trader in purple fabric. She would have been wealthy, maybe powerful, and she's not a Jew. She's not from a Jewish background, but she comes to the place of worship, and I like to think of her as someone who had questions, who likes to come and listen, who likes to hear about faith. Maybe someone who would really like Alpha. We're starting Alpha next week on Wednesday, and you'd be most welcome to join us if you've got questions about faith, or you're interested in what Christianity is all about. And it says in verse 14, the Lord opened her heart to respond to Paul's message. Jesus was able to meet her in her place of need, and she becomes a Christian. She's baptized, and so are the members of her household. Jesus met her in her place of need. And then we see a female slave who's trapped, not just by her owners in that place of slavery, which was tragically common in those days, but also it says she had a spirit. It's described here as a spirit by which she predicted the future. She's trapped in some sort of mental distress by this spirit, and there's an obvious place of need for her. And Jesus heals her after she's been following Paul around for a few days, shouting at him. Jesus heals her. And we don't know what happens to her, whether freedom is realised for her. But Jesus met her in her place of need. And then we see the guard in the prison in the next section of the passage. And there's an earthquake in the night, and the doors are opened and the chains are released, and the prison guard panics that he's lost all the prisoners. But he hasn't, and he says to Paul and Silas in that moment, "What can I do to be saved?" He might be asking about eternal life, or he might just be asking how he can get out of the mess that he finds himself in. And Paul speaks to him about Jesus. It meets him in his place of need. He becomes a Christian, and there's actually a party, an all-night party to celebrate. So I don't know what your place of need is today, but Jesus, whoever we are, whatever our background, loves to meet us in our place of need. When we bring our needs to him, it makes a difference. It changes us, it changes our surroundings, and it gives space for Jesus to work. So maybe you today could take a few moments, even now, to ask yourself, what do you need Jesus to do for you today? What are you asking for today?